Hello ladies and gentlemen, Matt from PowerShift Media here reviewing my 2017 Mitsubishi Mirage. Now you might be asking yourself, what is the Mitsubishi Mirage and why would you buy one of these? It's a great question. A lot of automotive journalists have trashed these cars, and quite frankly I've written a couple pieces about why they're wrong. And I'm here to tell you today on a first-hand account of exactly why they are wrong. The Mitsubishi Mirage, in my opinion, is the best A to B form of transportation you can buy. One of these started right at about $14,900 when it was new in 2017. But Mitsubishi had a name your price that they were doing on these cars, presumably to boost sales. This car was extremely important to Mitsubishi to get those sales numbers up. Obviously, we know they're kind of a hurting company. They're not producing any of their insignia sports cars anymore. This is one of their mass production cars. Now, they were doing the name your price, and a lot of people were getting these right around $12,000. Again, it's a 2017, and I bought this car in 2017 for $12,300. It had 6,000 miles on the clock, and I even got it with a CarMax warranty, good all the way up to 125,000 miles. So at $12,300, in my opinion, this was a really good buy. Now you might ask yourself, well, why wouldn't you buy a Corolla? Why wouldn't you buy a Honda Fit? And those are extremely good questions. The Corolla back in 2017 started at $18,900. That's a pretty good jump when you go from 12,000 or even 14 all the way up to essentially 19. The Corolla didn't really come with any equipment either. At 19,000, you weren't going to be getting any type of infotainment. There just wasn't a lot in that car when you were looking at a base. This car here, it has infotainment, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. It does have some things that are pretty nice that I'll be getting to when I go around back, such as the LED taillights. We'll get to that in a minute. However, this car is not perfect. It has one glaring fault that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It has a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine putting out 78 horsepower. Yeah, that's not a lot. I do believe this is the lowest horsepower vehicle you can buy in North America. The engine's loosely based on the one you would get in the older smart cars. I mean, they share a lot in somewhere, but there's also some obvious differences between the two. With the CVT transmission that this car has, it weighs right over 2,100 pounds. It's not heavy, but it's still extremely slow. It's slow enough to, around town, it keeps up just fine. It has a decent amount of torque. You won't necessarily notice it. You notice them more when you're already going 65, 70 mile an hour and you need to get around somebody. It's lacking in that department. I'm not going to say it's not. One of its extremely strong suits is, I, again, got this car with right around 6,000 miles. It just turned 51. And I'm averaging about 50 to 52 miles to the gallon. I do a lot of highway driving. This is an extremely economical car. The Corolla is not going to match that. I know when this debuted and the car started gaining a little bit of traction, Mitsubishi was advertising this as the most efficient non-hybrid car you could buy. And in my experience, this thing costs almost nothing to operate. I've put a lot of miles on it, and I've done nothing aside from replace the serpentine belt about 3 months ago. I just did a front brake job on it. The pads were down to probably about their last 8,000 miles of usage, so I did go ahead and I did do a brake job on it. Otherwise, the car's needed nothing. Oil changes, basic maintenance. Nothing has actually went wrong with this car. It has been absolutely flawless. Some of the things I don't like about it: the handling. The tires are 165 width from the factory, meaning if you're going down a curvy road, you're not going to be maintaining any type of speed. You better slow down. It just gets a little bit squirrely. Doesn't exactly feel secure at higher speeds when you're going down some bendy roads. The back brakes are drums, cost-cutting measure. The factory brakes on these cars are sufficient, and that's about all they are. They don't stop with any authority, and even if you mash the brakes as hard as you can, you're never going to get ABS intervention. I did upgrade to some Power Stop Z23 carbon Kevlar brake pads and some R1 Concept slotted rotors. Stops much better now, and I can absolutely lock up the front tires. Can't ask for too much else, but from the factory, you better anticipate your stops a little better. I live here in the Dayton, Ohio area. There's a lot of slamming and jamming going on. You can't necessarily drive as aggressively with one of these as you could some other cars. Something else that I do like about it, it rides nice, but that's a trade-off for handling. It has a soft ride. It also has a monumental amount of body roll. I like the way the car looks. I think overall it's a nice looking package. The color of this car is sunrise orange pearl, and when it's actually clean, it does need washed, especially in the light. This paint really does pop. It looks really nice. Overall, it's a well executed package. It doesn't look bad at all. The factory wheels are a little bit small. That was a fuel economy measure, obviously. Around back, the theme continues. Everything's simplistic back here. There's nothing crazy going on. You have this ridiculously tiny exhaust. A couple things I do like in a super cheap car like this, however, the taillights. They're fully LED. The brake lights, every part of this taillight minus the turn signal bulb is LED. The third brake light that's integrated into this rear spoiler, this is factory, came on all the newer facelifted Mirages. It's also fully LED. There's nothing too crazy going on. One of the hilarious things some people have pointed out, some journalists have mentioned, obviously the government started mandating the backup cameras. Mitsubishi obviously had to comply, and they put less than no thought into putting the backup camera in the car. They made no attempt to hide it, to make it look cleaner. It's here, you have it, it works. There's really not a whole lot to say. Mine has a couple little touches. I've put the Mitsubishi Diamonds badge off of the Evo 10 Final Edition. It's carbon fiber. I preferred it over the chrome. I put a little stubby antenna on it, just some things that kind of clean up the car. Again, in my opinion, one of this car's strong suits is its styling. It doesn't perform, it doesn't handle, but it does a lot of other things really great, and we're getting ready to move on to that right now. For me, inside the vehicle is where this car truly starts to redeem itself. Yes, it has a lot of things that detract from it, but it also has a lot of things I really like at this price point. Keyless go. Mitsubishi calls it the fast key system. And what that essentially means is there's no key. Yes, if you push this button back here, you can pull out this key. This is what you would use if the battery in this died, or if perhaps the battery in the car died. On the passenger side, there's a physical lock tumbler, versus on the driver's side, there's a button you push to access the car so you can leave the key in your pocket. So you don't need the key. Simply put your foot on the brake. There's a button right here. Fires right up. It does have a generously big infotainment screen over here. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integrated. You don't have to have one or the other. One of the common themes I've seen in a lot of cars I've been reviewing is it's either going to have Android Auto or it's going to have Apple CarPlay. I'm pretty sure the newer Uconnect stuff is only going to be Apple CarPlay. My dad has a 2019 Ram. I don't think that thing has Android Auto of any kind in it. This one gives you both options, all at a $14,000 price point. Unfortunately, this car is also a CVT. These did come available in a 5-speed manual transmission. This one is not one of them. I had chosen this car because I was daily driving my Talon through the winter. That's not a very good car to drive through the winter with a lot of horsepower and being so low to the ground. I seen it, I like the color, I like the equipment it had, and I didn't think twice. I bought the car. I needed something reliable with a warranty. This did it. This one is, again, an SE. It does have fog lights. It does have the navigation, the CarPlay. It has the things I needed. Ironically, it did not come from the factory with the center console armrest. This is an aftermarket add-on I got for $50 on Amazon. And if you're going to own one of these, it is absolutely mandatory. Without that armrest, driving this car 8 hours is a little annoying, and there's an obvious lack of storage. I love to throw my wallet in here. It's in there right now. As far as the back seat goes, there's plenty of space. I've had 3 children back there, and I've had 2 adults. Me and a couple of my friends took this car to Indianapolis a couple winters back when I first got it. It did the job just fine. It is a smaller car, but it is absolutely practical. There's really not a whole lot else to say. I mean, it's got cruise control. It has 1 touch down on the windows. It has more than enough to be daily drivable, but it doesn't necessarily have anything crazy. And in my opinion, that's just less things to break. If you know anything about the Mirage, you'll know earlier models didn't quite look like this. They had a really awkward looking hood cut line here, and the grille was about 1/10 the size of this. They had facelifted the cars, went to this wider grille. They went to a much cleaner looking hood cut line, and the front fascia got totally changed. I am not sure exactly what year that happened. I want to say it was right at 2015 or 16. I do know I prefer the facelifted models. These cars came in a wide array of some pretty cool colors. They came in the candy apple green, a really unique looking purple. They kind of got a little bit playful with their color palettes and their design, and I appreciate that. I like that a lot myself. These can be had with HID headlights. Unfortunately, mine just has basic halogens, but if you step into a GT, you'll get a set of 15-inch wheels. You'll get some HID headlights optional. And they even had a pretty nice Rockford Falls Gate audio system you could get. Overall, for what you're paying, you're getting a lot of equipment for your money. Now it's time to do the walk around. Don't mind the fact the interior is a little bit dirty. It is my daily. Rear cargo room is quite generous. Fold down these back seats. I have fit a 52-inch TV in here, and I've also fit 4 17-inch SRT4 neon wheels with tires. It's quite a practical car. Alright folks, time to drive the Mirage. And honestly, there's not really a lot of excitement that's about to go on. That being said, I have an intake on the car. You'll most likely hear it. Other than that, it's a slow car. It drives down the road. It does what it needs to do. But we're going to drive it, and I may even do a point of view. Like I said, around town does just fine. It's got more than enough torque to get the car going down the road. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, right now I'm in a little bit of a residential area, but I'll kind of comment on the car's handling a little bit about its steering. Obviously, I know this car quite intimately. I've been driving it for 2 years, but as you can tell, it goes down the road smooth. There's nothing loud about it. For some reason, the factory Dunlop and Save tires, they are kind of loud, but changing to a different wheel that will allow you to run wider tires, I think that'll quiet it up a lot. That's a pretty common complaint amongst Mirage owners. Go ahead and let this guy go. I do have my daughter in the back, so she's riding along. She's kind of photobombing the shot. One of the things I like a lot about the car is the turning radius is absolutely ridiculous. I can literally do a U-turn on a 2-lane road with no problem. I live in an apartment. I have street parking. I actually come in the wrong way every day, and I have to U-turn to park. I don't have to do a 3-point turn. This car will U-turn with no problem. I swapped over to my point of view. The vents in this car, as you can obviously see, they don't hold my vent mount very well. So I'm doing the point of view, just kind of giving you an idea of what everything looks like driving the car. And I'm sure I look hilarious with the point of view mount driving a Mirage around a cul-de-sac. With that being said, just kind of gives you an idea of what to expect if you were to actually drive one of these cars. It does have a sport mode selector. Kick the shifter over. The RPMs will hold a whole lot higher for you, and it definitely makes the throttle a lot more responsive. Kick it back over, revs drop, car just kind of putts along. Here in a minute, I'll kind of show you a little bit about what the acceleration of this car is like. Again, it's pretty lethargic snail, but at least with the intake, it makes kind of a cool noise. It's not the worst thing in the entire world. That was about 3/4 throttle, and honestly, when the needle gets above about 5,000, the car definitely wakes up quite a bit. But there's no debating the fact this is a very slow econo box. But you're going to get that with any car in this class. The Corolla is not going to be a fast car. The Fit is not going to be a fast car. When you're shopping in this category, in my opinion, what really matters is what equipment are you getting and what do you need the car to do. I needed the car to be efficient. I did obviously want it to at least look cool. This car definitely does do that, and I can't necessarily complain. Handling, though, definitely not the best. It just kind of is what it is. Just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to actually watch my video. Just to kind of conclude, I had gotten back over to my apartment. A string of cars was coming along. I just wanted to kind of do a quick wrap up. If you are looking for a car that's going to be fuel efficient, that's going to be reliable and have some equipment, I do think the Mirage makes a compelling case. Mitsubishi's warranty is pretty strong. Again, I haven't had anything go wrong. You may have noticed the TPMS light that was on the dash. When we swapped over, I have some studded Nokian tires I use in the winter, and they had damaged one of the actual TPMS sensors. When I contacted Mitsubishi, they said bring it in anytime. They'll replace the sensor at no cost. Haven't bothered. Don't really want to deal with the downtime. I have a crazy work schedule, and then obviously I do my writing on the side. I'm just a real busy person. Haven't really taken the time to do it. It's not of great importance. That being said, I just kind of wanted to set the record straight. I don't think the Mirage is a crap car like so many journalists think it is. And the funny thing to me is there's a lot of hypocrisy amongst the automotive journalism industry, because so many of these journalists want a car that's honest, they want a car that's affordable, and that just does the job of being a car that is available to anybody, and the Mirage does that perfectly. You can get a base that really has nothing, and I don't think that car is going to be outside of anybody's budget. And then they go up to the GT with the HID headlights, the nice audio. You can get one that will definitely fit your needs. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it's not going to get you around a windy road in a fun manner. But if you need a car that is utterly reliable, that car has been that for me. If you need something that, maybe you drive 400 or 500 miles a week. I do a 140-mile trip each way every weekend to be with my daughter. The car is absolutely impressive in that regard. No, it's not the funnest option. I do think a Fit would be a more fun option for sure. But I think it is, in my opinion, the best all-around option. Again, thank you for taking time to watch the video. If you have any questions about the Mirage, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm a very approachable person. This is one of my maybe third or fourth attempt to do a better review. I was just using a tripod, a point of view mount, a wireless mic. You know, we're a low budget YouTube channel. We're here just to have fun with this thing, give back to the community, answer some questions that I get. I do get a lot of questions about this particular car, and I hope that helps clear some of that up. Again, thanks for watching. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell in the right-hand corner, and powershiftmedia.net is the website. Our podcasts are on there. Some articles. I actually just threw together a nice article about 4 cars that are Radwood worthy for under $10,000. So it's getting a lot of hits. And Nathan has a rather good article about his affiliation with FCRX7s and a little something he went through many years back. I think you should go ahead and go read it and tell us what you think. Again, thanks for watching. Have a good one.